Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos have secretly decorated a public NYC Christmas spot for years. Now they'll know it's us. For years, New Yorkers have walked past a certain unassuming Christmas spot, one of those blink-and-you-miss-it pockets of holiday magic tucked between brownstones and bodegas, without knowing they were stepping into a quiet celebrity tradition. Twinkling lights appeared each December as reliably as the first chill in the air. Garland wrapped the railings just so. Ornaments showed up that felt personal but not flashy, thoughtful rather than showy. No plaque, no announcement, just warmth. And now, as Kelly Ripa laughingly admits, they'll know it's us. The revelation landed like a dropped ornament in a silent room. Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos, one of New York's most recognizable couples, have been secretly decorating a public Christmas spot in NYC for years. Not a private townhouse, not a gated courtyard. A public space, shared, walked through, photographed, and loved by strangers. It started, as many of the best traditions do, almost by accident. Years ago, when their kids were younger and December felt more chaotic than magical, Kelly and Mark found themselves craving something simple. Between early morning call times, school schedules, rehearsals, and the general frenzy of the holidays in Manhattan, the season was starting to feel like a checklist instead of a feeling. They wanted something that belonged to them, but not in a way that required invitations, RSVPs, or matching pajamas. One cold evening, bundled up and walking through their neighborhood, they noticed a small public spot that felt forgotten. It wasn't ugly exactly, just bare, functional. A place people passed through, never lingered in. Mark, ever the quietly observant one, joked that it looked like it could use a little Christmas intervention. Kelly, fueled by holiday spirit and a lifelong love of festive overcommitment, agreed. The next weekend, they came back, incognito as only famous people in New York can be. Hats pulled low, scarves wrapped high, moving with the practiced confidence of locals who know no one is really paying attention. They brought a strand of white lights, just one. Nothing dramatic. They rapped, they plugged it in, they stepped back. And something shifted. It wasn't about decorating, Kelly later explained. It was about changing the mood of a space, even just a little. No one applauded, no one noticed right away, but the next day someone added a bow. A few days later, a tiny wreath appeared. By the end of the week, the spot had transformed, not into a spectacle, but into a collaboration. A conversation in garland and glow. That's when Kelly and Mark realized what they'd stumbled into. So they came back the next year, and the next. Every December, without posting, without telling friends, without even telling their kids at first, they returned to their spot. They upgraded the lights, added ornaments that weren't expensive but were meaningful, wooden stars, paper snowflakes sealed against the weather, little touches that felt human. Mark handled the logistics. Kelly handled the aesthetics. It became their thing. Sometimes they went late at night, sometimes early in the morning. Once, they swear, they crossed paths with a dog walker who nodded approvingly at their work, completely unaware he was complimenting a daytime talk show host and a former soap star. That's the best part of New York, Mark said. Everyone's equal when you're just cold and trying to plug in a string of lights. Over the years, the spot became a quiet landmark, not famous, not viral, but beloved. People took engagement photos there. Parents lifted kids up to see the lights. Someone started leaving handwritten notes, little scraps of paper tucked into the garland that said things like "Thank you for this, and this made my walk better." Kelly collected those notes like treasure, never taking them home, just reading them and leaving them for the next decorator to find. The unspoken rule was simple: no credit. Until, inevitably, something changed. This year, with their kids grown and social media sharper than ever, Kelly posted a photo. Just one. A casual shot. A caption that was meant to be vague, but wasn't vague enough. The internet did what it does best. Fans connected dots. Neighbors whispered. Someone commented, "Wait, is that your spot?" Kelly showed Mark the comments and groaned. Now they'll know it's us. There was a moment of panic. Would the magic disappear once the secret was out? Would it feel performative? Would it turn into a selfie circus? But something surprising happened instead. People didn't swarm, they didn't vandalize, they didn't demand more. They just smiled. Some thanked them. Some shared stories about walking past that spot during hard winters. One person wrote that they'd passed it every morning on the way to chemo treatments and that the lights helped. Kelly cried reading that one. Mark pretended not to, but failed. And the decorations stayed exactly the same. No bigger, no flashier, no sponsored ornaments, no plaques. Because the point was never who did it. It was that someone did. In a city that moves fast and hard and loud, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos chose a small, quiet kindness. They chose anonymity. They chose tradition without recognition. They chose to decorate something they didn't own, for people they didn't know. And now that the secret is out, they'll still be there next year, maybe a little less disguised, maybe laughing a little louder, still plugging in the lights, still stepping back to see if it feels right.